sorted them out, and like I said, I'd sat down. Even before printing a deck of cards, I actually got out just blank cards and I wrote various words and all my drawings, which I've still got. And I sat down and thought, okay, what is it that I'm seeing in my regular client base over the years that are the most important things to people in our current day? So, and then I thought, okay, same-sex relationships, number one. It's a big area. Many old forms of divination didn't allow for that. The women who are high-powered in the career end who don't want children, and again, old days, everyone was always surmised that how many babies will I have? Questions like legal, career, travel, all of those things I kept looking at. What are the questions people kept coming to me for? So I then based all my symbols, worked and moved every card around possible to work out the combinations of what works, what do people need to know. And same thing, I based it very much on cups and the leaves in the cups of what I see. So they are based on symbols in a cup. So
and it's over the years of what you've read.
To put in a card.
Yeah, and you can't have, massive numbers of cards. It's kind of difficult to read.
It's too many, and I think sometimes the more there is, the more confusing it is. So, it's like keep it simple, stupid principle of it needs to be simple. I didn't want people getting a deck of cards and feeling completely overwhelmed. I aimed this at anybody who's never even looked at any form of divination to pick up and think, oh, yes, these speak to me. So, and that was the whole reason of only sticking to the smaller numbers of cards.
So tell me, what new things are coming up in the world of Tea with Karin?
For me, I've actually been working at, I've written down an entire course structure now, because I've been asked many times of do I teach? I've written out a course structure, and I'm in the process of doing the videos and homework sheets and things for that. So what that will be, it's an online course. I thought about having it as a Zoom meeting room where everybody can log in, but then I thought, no, it's not going to be workable with people all over the world, different times. So I will set it up in such a way where the people have a login to attend the course. They will be able to look at instructional videos about what that lesson is. They will have homework sheets so they don't get out of it too easy. And it will be a course where they do receive certificates. So, and I'm looking at it as in level 1, 2, 3, so beginner, intermediate, advanced. So they can then go on. And I've first done the course structure based on the cards, because that's what many people have asked me for. Then I will look at courses again on the charm casting, and then the charm casting combined with the cards. And again, this is really, it's all about like layers, a bit like Sara Lee cake, You
Yes.
Start with your base and you want more and more information, so it's layering. And so that's what I would be doing future. So hopefully that'll be up on air. I was hoping end of January, but I've just been a little bit too busy to get it all stuck into now. But it's just self-paced, so they can do it as they like.
Yeah, and it's got a lot of great information. I should know. I have been...
Yes, you know. Yeah. I've had... there's a couple of people who have been my guinea pigs, so... And, and that's the thing, because I want it from the point of view, again, that someone who's just... Say you give a deck of cards to a niece for a Christmas, and she's never looked at anything before. It's so that she can think, okay, I can do this, and it's not scary and it's not overwhelming, but in a more relaxed environment, because I'm an Aussie, we're all pretty laid back here. So, and I wanted it with that same feeling, because to me it's always about how does the person feel, and rather than just pressure, and I didn't want that. So, and it will be also set up with a group as well, again, where there's group help, group learning, group assistance with the course. So,
and I think that'll be great.
I'll put them up in the Etsy store.
Yeah, and speaking of your Etsy store, you have cards, charms, as well as casting mats.
Yes, and I've been working a while now with like casting mats. When people purchase charm kits, my charm kits in the Etsy store are a collection of 54 charms. They come with a nice little box, so they keep them all together, and they also come with a booklet. That 54 set mirrors the decks of the 54 cards. So even though now I'm going down to the 45 card decks, I still like to keep the 54 charms because it's nice for all trinkets. It's like I said, playing with jewellery bits. When they purchase that, they get emailed through PDFs of 10 free casting sheets, so they can print at home. Lots of people laminate them to protect them, or you pop in a plastic stationery cover, or one of them flip folder books. And but casting mats, I've also got a lot, which I use here, is they're rubber back. They're like a rubber old-fashioned mouse mat, and they're great that way because people who are professional readers, or even just go and do markets or stalls or somewhere in a mall, you can roll it up, chuck it in your bag. It's completely pliable, and there are silk screen printing on them. You can wash it down if you need to. If someone spills a cup of tea, and I've had that here in my own room. I recently just launched a massive mat, and it's huge, in which I say to everybody, yes, it's huge. It's 28 inches by 23.5 inches big, and that is a double-sided mat which has all the 45 card houses. I actually call it the tea house. And on the other side, it's got a life wheel, and a life wheel is all the probing sections in one's life for personal growth, life coaching, either for yourself or for your clients, and that you use your charms on. The life wheel is so big on that mat, though, it's a 16-inch diameter across the wheel. You can even use it with your cards, so you don't, even if you didn't have a set of charms, you can use cards on it. One of my favourite mats is it's a teacup reversible mat. It's actually a picture of my very own teacup I use in my tea room, because every client that sits here, I have a cup of tea with them, so they're not drinking on their own. So yes, I do cup for cup per client. And one side of the mat has 27 symbols in it, which again, all the major life topics. And the other side of the cup is completely empty. And I've done it in such a way is someone can do a proper tea cup reading with charm symbols without hot water or a cup of tea. So, and it's fabulous. And I read at some public functions, and if they don't want tea or they've got coffee drinkers, that's perfect, because you just use the double-sided teacup mat.
So how do they find your Etsy store?
If you go to Etsy, etsy.com / and then Tea with Karin, and Karin's spelt with an I, Karin. I blame my parents, so it's been a lifelong nightmare because of the spelling. And so that's how people find me, and it's, Tea with Karin. If you put into Google Tea with Karin just with an I, it will bring up several YouTube videos, because I've got a YouTube channel as well under Tea with Karin, and the Etsy store. It also brings up reviews on my website. The YouTube channel has lots of videos.
Lots of educational ones.
Cards and charms.
Yeah, I think your YouTube channel is phenomenal. You've got so many different videos on there on, different
I'm
spreads.
showing people a lot of it too. How to use tea cards with traditional card spreads like tarot spreads, and because you go on tarot spreads on Google and you've got endless amounts of spreads. Not just a plain old Celtic cross. And same thing. It's how to use tea cards with any type of spread with positions.
Yeah, and I even learned from Erica doing the houses,
Yes,
with tea cards, which I've
yes,
never
and
done.
it's a good way to look at them. Is in the short readings. Is your 3 cards of 3 on 3 houses. It's what you layer, and like I said, that's cards over a house, and then you can add another layer again with your charms. So, and that could be okay. Not real sure on that clear question. Is put some charms on it.
Now,
So
if people wanted to
more.
contact you,
My website's www.twithkarin.com. I've got contact me on there now. My email is info@twithkarin.com, so anyone can drop me an email. My website has Australian phone number on there, and I imagine a lot of people want to ring me on that, but email, I'm always available. So the Facebook group, I've got a public page called Tea with Karin on Facebook. There's the Teacup Cards and Charms Facebook group. It is a closed group, so it's not a public group, so you do have to request join now. There's a few questions on there. We just like to know if people are interested in what type of divination, what brings them here. It's always good to see. Amazing how many people who actually say their grandmother or their mother or somebody used to read tea, and that's really nice, because it's quite interesting how these come out of the woodwork for families, and some people didn't even know.
So, before we end, what type of tips or, what can you share with our listeners that want to try and deepen their connection for better readings with the tea cards?
First thing was remove yourself from yourself. And Hayden will know all about that. I know Hayden's always telling people the same thing. It is step outside of yourself, and so I'd say remove yourself from yourself. And it's even like where people say they struggle to read for themselves. First is remove self, so it means look at what is literally in front of you. That's tip number 1. Make sure you're not in a crowded environment or noisy space, and it really is, just touch base with yourself. Some people go through meditation or cleansing rituals. Meditation, I'll be honest, I struggle with that myself. Mind does not shut down, so I tend to focus on candle flame to remove self. That's probably the biggest thing, is really literally have a cup of tea and throw yourself into it. It's, enjoy it more. It's not all serious. It's not all doom and gloom. And once you sort of remove some of the ego out of it, things open up and that you really didn't expect it to be.
Yeah,
so,
see, I struggle with that sometimes. I'm very linear.
It's a really hard one, and if you do really struggle with it, I'd still say keep persisting. And I know, like, it doesn't matter how tired you may be. It's almost like when I lay out cards or you look in a cup, it's almost, to me, I see like grasshoppers. They're jumping, and it's like they pick me, a bit like a minion. And if that's the direction that your intuition tells you to go, roll with it. That's one of the biggest things. So, like, I've laid out 3 cards here just now for the day, or it'll be the day ahead for me, but it'll be tomorrow for many other parts of the world. And I've drew cane, mermaid, and bird. And I'll post a photo up in the group so people can see this as well. The bird is facing the mermaid, and the cane is first card. So the cane there would tell me, perhaps things like slow down, show some support, some kindness throughout the day. Cane is often deal with things on a mature level. Your mermaid tells me again, safe passage for you for the day. And the bird's facing the mermaid, which tells me some beautiful conversations will come about because of it. So be supportive of one another and keep the community